Hello friends, in this video we will be discussing one more coding question which were asked in TCS NQT, that is National Qualifier Test. So this is the question as you can see, and if you want you can pause the video and try it yourself. Okay, so I hope at least you have thought of the logic. So the question is, let us see how it is. So the question is, given an integer array of size n, the task is to find the count of the elements whose value is greater than all of its prior elements. So this is the question. And if you do not understand the question, so there are two examples. So example 1 and this is example 2. So there are two examples, and by this we will make you understand what does the questions mean. So the question is saying that you have to count the element which is greater than all of its previous element. So let us say for this example, so there will be one, the input will be in this way. So the first line of the input, this one, will be the number of elements in the array or size of the array. So in this case the size of array is 5, and after this the second line you will be having 5 elements. Okay, now let us see how to solve this, or what does the question mean. So the question is, you have to start from here. Okay, and let us say you are here, the first element. So for the first element you have to check whether it is greater than all of its previous or not. So since this is the first element, so there are no previous element of it, and so that's why in this case you can see the note, first element of the array should be considered in the count of the result. So you have to already consider this in the count. So in the count, so when we arrive here our count becomes 1. For the first element the count already will be 1. So let us move here. So once we come to 15, you have to check whether 15 is greater than all of its previous. So there is only one previous element 10 and it is greater. So if it is greater, then increase the count. Okay, so the count becomes 2. Now again we came here to 7. So for 7 we have to check whether this 7 is greater than all of its previous. So I think it is not, because 7 is not greater than 15 also and 10 also. So in this case count will not be increased. So count is 2. So again we came to 20, and we will check whether this 20 is greater than all of its previous. You can see the question is greater than all of its prior. So you can see this 20 is greater than all of this, 7 also, 15 also and 10 also. So we will increase the count. So now count becomes 3. Again we come to the last element and we can check that this is not greater than all of this, because it is not greater than 20 and 15 also. So this was the question. So you have to output the count. So in this case there are 3 elements which are greater than all of its previous. So 10 is there, and then 15 is there, and then 20 is there. So these 3 elements are greater than all of its previous element. This is the question. And if you have understand this example, so same you can apply here, and you can see the output will be 4. So here the 4 elements will be, one is 5, 7 also is greater than all of its previous, 10 will be there, and then 15 will be there. So these 4 elements are greater than all of its previous element. So that's why 4 is the output. So I hope now you understand what does the question mean. Okay, so this was the question. So now you have to think of the logic, how to solve this. So to solve this, many of you might be thinking that you can use 2 for loop. So suppose we are here, then we will check for all the previous. If we are here, we will check for all the previous, and we can easily solve this using 2 for loop. But the question is, you have to solve it in order of n time. Means you have to use only 1 for loop. Then you have to decide how to solve this. Okay, so this is the code, or this is the solution. You can see this is the code written in Python programming language, And if you are about to solve in C or C++, then you can easily convert this. So this is just a for loop, then if, and then print. So you can convert it into C or C++. Or if you want, I can make another video in C or C++. But I hope it is easy. So let us see how the solution works in this case. So we will be using only one for loop. So only one iteration we will do and we will calculate. Okay, so see, by using two iteration or two for loop, it is easy. But sometime in the question there will be given that you have to solve in order of n. So that's why you have to think in that way. Now this is the constraint, value of n and value of all the elements. Okay, now let me discuss the logic. So what we will do is that since we have to use only one means iteration, so let me show you the logic. The logic is like this. Suppose we are at 20 and we want to check whether 20 is greater than all of its previous. Then what we will do, we will keep one maximum value, and that maximum value will give what is the maximum up to this element. So suppose I want to check for 20, then I will keep one maximum of all these three, all the previous. So that maximum I will compare with this 20, and if this is greater than that maximum, it means it is greater than all of its prior, and we can increase the count. Okay, so let me show you. So for the first element, the count will already be 1 and the maximum is 10. Now once we come to 15, we will check whether 15 is greater than maximum or not, and there we will keep one variable. There we will keep the count maximum value. So initially the maximum will be 10. So now we came to 15. We will check whether this 15 is greater than maximum or not. So it is greater. So we will increase the count. So now count becomes 2. Okay, and since this is greater than maximum, so now we got another maximum. So we will update the maximum, and now maximum is 15. So up till this element we know the maximum is 15. So now we will move here and we will check whether this 7 is greater than this maximum or not. So it is not, then we can directly move. So now we came here. Now we will check whether this 20 is greater than maximum or not. So it is greater. So we will increase the count and we will increase the maximum also. So up till here the maximum was 15. Now when we came here, we got another maximum which is maximum than 15 also. So up till here, now our new maximum will be 20. So this is the maximum. So lastly we came here and again we will check whether this is greater than maximum or not. So it is not greater than maximum, so we will not increase the count and answer will be 3. So I hope you understand the logic. So this is very simple. We will just keep maximum value up till ranges. Like suppose we want to calculate for 20, then we will keep maximum up to here. Once we came here, we will keep maximum up to here and so on. So I hope you understand the logic. Now see the code. So this is the code in Python. I hope all of you are aware of the all these syntaxes. So at first we will take the input. So the first line of input is number of elements. So here I have taken the input n equals to int input. So we know that in Python this input is in string, so we converted it into int. Next in the array we have taken all this input, and I hope you are aware of all this syntax. So this basically what it does, it splits all this in the form of array. Okay, so now if I say A0, it will be 5, A1, this is A2, A3 and so on. So this second line is used for taking the input, which are space separated, like in this case. Now next one is, now we have stored one maximum value. Now as I told you, for the first element already our count is 1. So what we will do, we will start the iteration from second element, because for first element we already know the count is 1. So that's why already I have increased the count to 1, and maximum I have stored 5 or whatever will be the first element. Okay, now I've done the for loop from the second element. As we know, this is the 0th index, this is the 1th index. So we will start with 1th index, and for all the indexes I will check whether the current element is greater than whether this element is greater than maximum or not. And if it is greater than maximum, so we will increase the count and this element will be our new maximum. So this is just few lines of code, and after this all our values will be stored in count, and at last we can print the count. So let me run this. Okay, so 5 elements I have given, and let us try for this array only. So I have copy paste it here. Yeah, you can see 3 is the answer. So as I told you, 3 is the output. Similarly, let me run once more. For the second test case, 6 elements, and these are the array. Okay, you can see 4 is the output. So it is working fine, and it will work for all of the test cases. You can see it yourself. So this was the logic. I hope you got it. So this is very easy. Let me recap whatever we have seen. So what we are doing, we are keeping a maximum value and we are updating it. So let us say I want to calculate whether 2 is greater than all of its previous or not. So up till this point we will keep one maximum, which will be the maximum of all of this. Now for this value we will just check whether this is greater than maximum or not. Okay, so I hope it is you got the logic. So instead of seeing for all the previous, we will see just if it is greater than the maximum of its previous or not. Okay, let us say 420. So 420 we will just see whether it is greater than maximum of these 3, which is 15. So if it is greater than 15, it means it will be greater than all the numbers which are below 15, because it is only the maximum. So this is the logic, and I hope it is clear. If you still have any doubt, you can watch the video again. I have included all the topics and all the concepts. I have made it clear. So watch again, and still you have any doubt in any line of the code, so you can write in the comment section. Okay, so I hope it is clear. So thank you guys, take care.